all our hair. Food lovers diet. Lose 9 pounds eating all this. Yeah, right. Who's ever lost any weight eating all this? Fountain of youth. Reverse the top trigger of premature aging. For sure. For sure. Now where is the crosswords?
Advertising images reflect culture and may create culture, Roman states. Since the advent of technology, the images of women have been influenced by what I like to call the 4 S's. Symbolism, sexuality, size of representation, seizure of employment and progress.
Marcellus states, branding, like stereotyping, de-emphasizes sameness, not only to create identity, but also to conflate identity with power. Commodity racism, coined by Hall, explains the use of stereotypes that are used as part of a brand. He further describes how stereotyping and branding are combined not only to sell products, but also to create and maintain identity and power to the dominant group.
This is especially true during the time of cartography, where women represented land being fertile and European dominance reigned supreme. Even the indigenous people portrayed within the cartouches of maps bowed to them. Due to the European patriarchal women portrayed their own symbolic submission. Further down the timeline, a British physician, Henry Maudsley, claimed that women were a type of mutilated men, and because of this, they were feeble and incompetent compared to the average male.
Gunter claims the passive role performed by females place an undue emphasis on their appearance. This focus leads women to think that their primary function was to be admired, manipulated, and used by men. Ironically, regardless of the audience, women were still portrayed as sexualized, though when the audience was mostly women, they were still objectified, but it was reduced.
Currently, there is a debate as to whether advertisements reflect current gender stereotypes or that actively shapes attitudes, thereby creating gendered expectations as described by Monk Turner. And many others theorize that this is all internalized by adolescents, and thus these new consumers link and identify these images and connect them with the use of said product. On the other end of the spectrum, Gunn and McKenna state that women are used to being looked at and viewed as objects, and through these images they learn how to please men. Many believe that through the deviance of these sexualized adverts and through the chronically advancing communication technology that allows for instant access and thus creating a global village, this is the cause for the sexual scripts of young people to begin earlier and earlier.
In a study of various magazine ads, the objectification of both genders was compared. The findings: 51% of women and 13% of men that were featured alone are objectified. While together this occurred 35%, and overwhelmingly objectification occurred 85% to any female shown within the advertisement. Mechanical Bride refers to the sexualized images of women that characterized in ads for cars. And other technology. Cyber Barbie is the portrayal of women, is reproduced in the classic Madonna horror dichotomy. Along the same lines, the macho male is characterized as white, violent, at the height of masculinity and technology.
Though despite progress, many ads still regurgitate portrayals of gender stereotyping. Dempsey describes imagionic portrayals of femininity as women's bodies were sexualized and regulated to the background, then disassembled into parts in an active and passive body language. Women are cased solely in terms of their sexual appeal. Rarely are they intended as primary consumer and active subjects.
No, I'll make sure the house is clean and I'll have all the stuff ready for you guys to show up, okay? Don't worry about anything. How was the rest of your day? Good? Oh, I'm glad. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye, honey. Pass it, girl.
In Portugal, despite major social programs and that women constitute over half of the population, almost half of the student population and employment, and over 75% of the purchases. Even while underrepresented, they are still shown along gender stereotypes, and as seniors portrayed as more of a negative stereotype than a male senior. Even as males age, they are placed shown with more authority than females. They are more likely to be narrators or seen in financial ads, while females are more likely to be shown in medicinal ads. This is true at any age.
Women are more likely to be seen in the domestic sphere or with children concerning the perceived nature of nurturing.
During the map trade, although women were severely limited in how they contributed, the only available venue that was deemed appropriate for them was through their artistic talent. Thus, women helped to perpetuate the symbolic stereotyping in the early days.
Similarly, as women were culturally restricted, it was reflected in the advertisements. For instance, when abortion was outlawed, women were seen as the other. With such backing from scientists with reasonings that females were a mutilated man, was rarely showing them other than weakened and ill with unnamed maladies with only a generalized name like women's troubles or ailments. This helped to further the divide.